Today I'm going to be your host and present to you on management of food and nutrition programs and services, topic D, which includes equipment and facility planning. The objectives of this presentation include workspace, where we will be talking about considerations of different items in the workplace, as well as service systems, safety and sanitation, privacy and accessibility, budget, staffing, and ergonomics. Our first topic is workspace, and for this particular subject, the different considerations that you should take into account includes the wall considerations, which has material that should be of glazed tile. The height should be 5 foot 8 inches high. And other considerations to have is making sure they are washable, impervious to moisture. For our ceiling considerations, you want to consider color compared to walls, which is acoustically treated. The height should be 14 to 18 inches high, and other considerations include lighter in color than walls. For floor considerations, there is a bit more to consider. For example, we have concrete. And for concrete, it is incredibly hard and strong, and it's used for streets and driveways. And this includes a mixture of Portland cement, sand, and gravel. Now, the pros to this includes that cost range is cheap, most approximately $2 per square foot, and it's low maintenance. Dyes can be added for a variety of colors and stamped to have different designs options. For example, some can look like stone or brick, and this type usually lasts 30 to 14 years. Although on the contrary, it is hard and can be uncomfortable. Concrete can crack over time. It can also be harmful to the environment because the use of energy and produces carbon dioxide, and also dries within 7 days before use, and it's not recommended for use in food preparation areas because it can become slippery when wet. Then our next option is terrazzo. Terrazzo consists of marble, granite, onyx, or glass chips. Terrazzo is poured, cured, ground, and polished, typically used as a finish for floors, stairs, or walls. And this is popular for versatility and durability. It's used as flooring everywhere from museums to corporate buildings, bedrooms, and bathrooms. The pros to this type of flooring is that it adds aesthetic appeal and interest to your home's interior. The lifespan is about 75 years. It's easy to clean and available in an assortment of colors and design options. The cons are they're most expensive compared to other flooring options. It usually costs about between $15 to $30 per square foot on average. If not installed properly, it can be prone to cracking, and maintenance can be costly. And similar to concrete, it can become slippery when wet and has a tendency to crack. The next floor consideration is quarry tiles, which is a natural stone unglazed red clay tiles. Unglazed quarry tile is a clean-fired ceramic tile without a glaze added for color or a glossy finish. This is usually used in fast food restaurant floors, in the back kitchen tiles where there's heavy traffic, and it includes the small, medium, reddish square or rectangular tile floor. And this is again made from clay and fired at high temperatures that will allow the tile to not crack under heavy loads or foot traffic. The pros to this is that it's strong, slip resistant, natural coloring, suitable for outdoor use such as patios, walkways, front stoops, pools, and surrounding the pool area. Common sizes include 3x6, 6x6, 4x8, and 8x8, and the lower end of cost for residential tires. Cons include unglazed do not have protective coating, which over time can build up stains and signs of wear and tear. Since it is in a natural state and it can absorb water, it can eventually grow algae and cause damage over time. So it needs to be cleaned often to maintain a good appearance. And again, it could be slippery when wet and also very noisy. The next one that we have is asphalt, and it's similar to concrete. It's a black or brown petroleum-like material that has a consistency varying from liquid to glossy solid. It's found in natural deposits. This is used in paving roads, sealing waterworks, as road construction, railways, tracks, airports, and runways. Pros to this is that it is cheaper than concrete. It's less sustainable to cracking than concrete. Has a quick installation. It dries fast. It's less likely to be damaged by salt and ice melt. It's non-slippery and easy to clean. On the contrary, it does need to be sealed every few years for proper maintenance compared to concrete. Asphalt can get hot in the summer because it overheats. There's limited design options and can last about 15 to 20 years. It can buckle or crack under heavy weight or extreme temperatures, but overall pretty good. For ventilation considerations, the comfortable temperature that we want to have is about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. And so ventilation is the circulation of fresh airspace and is measured in cubic feet per minute, or CFM. The American Society of Heating, Refrigerating, and Air Conditioning Engineers recommend 35 cubic feet per minute, and then 15 to 20 CFM person for dining rooms, 15 to 25 CFM per persons for general offices. Ventilation in the kitchen area is important because of heat, odors, grease, steam, and moisture generated. The benefits of a fan system is that ventilation can cause circulation of the air and remove those moistures and odors that come from cooking. Lighting considerations include where we want to have our lights and how tall they should be. So general lighting in the food prep and display area should be about how many foot candles? Well, first we have lumen, which is the amount of light generated when 1 foot candle of a light shines from a single source. B, foot candles is a measurement of light defined as enough light to saturate 1 foot square with 1 lumen of light. And then C, generalized lighting is recommended about 30 to 50 feet candles for orientation and general food prep display areas. And then 50-foot candles, or also known as 540 lux, should be used in food prep display areas. And then 20-foot candles, or 215 lux, should be used in areas of hand washing or dishwashing areas, self-service food areas, buffets, salad bars, displays for produce or packaged food, utensil storage areas, weight stations, and restrooms. Then we have 10-foot candles, or 108 lux, should be used in inside walk-in coolers and freezer units, dry storage areas, dining rooms for cleaning purposes. And then dining areas can range from 5 to 100-foot candles depending on the mood desired for the dining area. So that again is dependent on the manager and how they would like their lighting to be reflected on that certain area. And then lighting for localized areas should be about 70 to 100-foot candles in work areas that involve very detailed work. Considerations that impact the type of service under our service systems is food production flow refers to the different type of food service within food service operations that food menu items may follow with receiving and ending service to the customer. By having different types of services, there can be an increase in productivity, decreasing cost, and strengthening control of an operation. Different service systems need layout considerations for both staff and customers to provide the best service. And lastly, materials, tools, and controls should be located within the working area. There are 4 types of service systems. The first one includes conventional or traditional, and this is where foods are purchased in different stages of preparation for an individual operation and production, distribution, and service that are completed on the same premises. And this is where foods are held hot or refrigerated as appropriate and served as soon as possible. Food is prepared to order, and examples of this include a bake shop, butcher shop, and vegetable preparation unit. Then we have our ready prepared. This is where menu items are produced and held chilled or frozen until heated for serving, and this is most commonly used in hospitals. There are 2 versions, cook chill, which is where the menu items are partially cooked, rapidly chilled, held in chilled storage, and reheated just prior to service. Then we have our cook freeze, which is where menu items are partially cooked, rapidly frozen, held in freezer storage, and reheated just prior to service. And foods are prepared again, prepped and partially cooked beforehand, chilled, or frozen until ready to heat and serve. Our third is our commissary, which is a centralized procurement and production facilities with distribution of prepared menu items to several remote areas for final preparation and service. This includes central commissaries and food factories. Menu items are usually delivered hot or cold and served, which can be chilled or frozen and reheated at the remote site. Menu items prepared can be stored in bulk or in individual portions. This is used in a lot of schools and base kitchens. Lastly, we have assembly and serve, which is convenience food or minimal cooking concept, where menu items are purchased and prepped and require minimal cooking before service. Little to no processing is done on site, and production is very limited. Fresh and frozen and dried items like shredded lettuce, sliced carrots, beef stew, proportioned roast beef, and lasagna are purchased in an assembly/serve food service, and this is again their bulk portion and pre-plated. Now, safety and sanitation, how does it impact layout and equipment considerations? Well, safety and sanitation impact layout equipment considerations are very critical to avoid contaminating foods and preventing safety issues like falls. And preventing one of the most common safety concerns like slips and falls is by having our food service workers being trained in how important it is in a safety program. Many aspects of safety are related to construction and maintenance of the structure and equipment. For example, floors and wiring should be in good repair, and adequate lighting should be provided in work areas, corridors, and outside the facility. Now, privacy and accessibility. There is the Americans with Disabilities Act, which prohibits discrimination against persons with physical or mental disabilities or the chronically ill. The purpose of this specific act is to provide national mandate to eliminate discrimination against individuals with disabilities, provide consistent enforceable standards for those with disabilities, ensure that the federal government plays a central role in enforcing standards, and invoke congressional authority to address the major areas of discrimination faced by the disabled. Now, budget has also a big impact on equipment and layout planning, because planning a kitchen and arranging work areas to minimize operating costs and maximize productivity is very important activity for the food service manager to take over. Staffing also has a critical impact on equipment and layout planning, because it establishes traffic and process flows that control the movement of production workers, managers, visitors, QA staff, sanitation, maintenance personnel, products, ingredients, rework, and packaging materials, again, to reduce the food safety risk. Now, ergonomics, the definition is it examines how workers interact with their work environment, including equipment, the workstation, and climate. It influences such factors as lighting and footwear, which in turn influence safety. Four considerations that are based on ergonomics is storing the heaviest items on the middle shelves to reduce back strain, taking mini breaks and stretches throughout the day. When purchasing or pulling carts, use your body weight to push the carts. And lastly, when trying to lift, carry, or load heavy objects, second your stomach muscles, bend at your knees, and get close to the object. And this is the resource that we used. And thank you.